Rob?
All right. Thank you, Allison. Ukrainian President Zelensky still insisting that the missile that killed 2 people in Poland came from Russia and not Ukraine. The international community disagrees, but Zelensky doubled down yesterday, claiming the missile did not come from Ukraine. Joining us once again on set in-house, senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation and former Deputy National Security Advisor for President Trump, Victoria Coates. Great to see you. I'm wondering what you make of this. This happened after we got off the air yesterday. President Zelensky telling a Ukrainian television network that this missile did not come from Ukraine. So he could be doing this for 2 reasons. One, he wants NATO involvement, and I mean boots on the ground in Ukraine to try and help Ukraine win this war. Or 2, the president of Poland, President Biden, and NATO leaders know this came from Russia, but they also know that we can't go to war with another nuclear power, so they're covering it up. Either way, we're being misled.
It certainly seems a very sticky situation, Rob. And I mean, I might have a third possibility that Zelensky really doesn't want to be culpable for the death of 2 Polish citizens, which is, obviously a very bad outcome. And so I think the main point here, though, is that there's still ongoing confusion over this. And the fact that we could be this close to a major ground conflict in Europe that the United States is party to is really quite frightening. And I think that's what we need to wrap our arms around and prevent this from happening again. Yeah,
and General Holt said this earlier this morning. In the fog of war, mistakes are made. And tragically, 2 Polish farmers lost their lives. But if it did come from Ukraine, I think the international community, certainly NATO, should let us know, and Ukraine should let us know that a mistake may have been made, and we can move on. I find myself at an interesting point when it comes to covering this war, because anytime you question anything President Zelensky does, people will say you don't support the war. That's not the case at all. But is it okay to sort of question the direction of this war when something like that errant missile lands in Poland, and the initial reporting says it comes from Russia? Is it okay to question things like that while still supporting the cause of the Ukrainian people?
Oh, I think we have to. And, President Zelensky has been heroic in the defense of his country. He refused to leave when offered an off-ramp, as it were. And so I think he does deserve our support, but there have been missteps. I think when he invited Chinese state-owned entities to participate in reconstruction, that's a problem. When Ukraine voted against Israel at the United Nations, that's a huge problem. And I think it's really important that we let them know when these missteps have happened, that, if we're going to continue to support this at the tune of tens of billions of dollars at a pop, you're going to have to keep the support of the American people. And by inviting in China and voting against Israel, that's the fastest way to lose congressional support.
Does anything shift with that support in a Republican Congress? Right now, Nancy Pelosi has at least made it clear that she would like this $37 billion aid package to be passed before January.
This is why we should never vote on anything in lame duck. It's completely unfair. The American people elected a majority of Republicans to the House of Representatives, and now you have all of the lame ducks busily stuffing pork projects into this supplemental. It's a disgrace. And I think certainly there's going to be very beneficial oversight from this next Congress. And this is something that can be to Ukraine's benefit, that we're sure there's no graft, we're sure there's no corruption. We rebuild that economy in a way that it can be a friendly source of income to the United States. They should be a good economic partner to us. And that can be, but only with strong congressional oversight.
Yeah, I think that's important, and that's a very good point. Kevin McCarthy said the funding will not stop. Maybe there'll be more scrutiny, but the funding and the support of the people of Ukraine will not stop. Victoria Coates, great having you in-house this morning.
Good to be with you.
Let's do it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the truth. No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
Real news
For real people.